in the Benin game. Want more? We need more.
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and this is a new season. The season officially starts. I guess it started on Thursday, but it doesn't matter because we all know what game really matters. It's, of course, going to be the last game of Sunday night. But one thing that remains the same from last year after our first season is, of course, Gametime. Bryan, welcome, Gametime. Welcome back to a new season here at Primetime Studios.
My brother, Primetime Phil, what's going on, man? You are on a roll with these hype videos and everything. My man he's just knocking it out of the park. I am excited, dude. I am so excited right now. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow, in general, is football. I am ready. How about you?
I'm ready too, man. I'm ready. I was with you. I got the Sunday NFL ticket because I was just like, you know what? Let's just do it. You know, I got the YouTube thing going. It's my first year that's really going to have it because obviously DirecTV, I just never was that person that was going to get a whole system in order to be able to watch it. So I'm pretty excited as well too, man. Let's talk some football. How about that, man? Let's start some real football.
I'm ready. Atlanta Walker's in the house. Crystal Caramel Corn, Glimmer Man. I put out the bat signal earlier today. Tay Cowboys. Tay is in the house. Twiz, my brother from another mother.
Brother from another team.
Sister. Yeah. What's up, Regina? We're rolling here. We are rolling, and I am excited. I just can't. I'll be on the road tomorrow, but I got the NFL ticket too. It's gonna be nice, man. Just be able to have all the games at our fingertips. We're gonna be sugar daddies in the house.
Daddy,
what up, sugar daddy? But yeah, we're gonna be on the pulse of this Cowboy team, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well too. I mean, I was watching college football. Yeah, I love college football, but for me, it doesn't have that same thing to it. Obviously, when I see them on the sideline, it's like I see them on the sideline making catches. If they don't get that second foot in bound, I kind of just roll my eyes a little bit. Or when somebody just stops to the ground and they hit the knee. Like, I don't know if you watched that Thursday night game at all, but you saw Jahmyr Gibbs where he all of a sudden got the ball, he hit the ground, and he kind of just stopped because he was used to college, So no, it's NFL time, man. NFL time.
Well, what I would say is I'm with you. If you can't get 2 feet in bounds, like 1 foot in bounds, then come on, man.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, okay, but they do some amazing stuff, and you kind of love the atmosphere, and a lot of it's with the fans, and of course you're bringing in students, and yeah, I mean, it's a whole atmosphere, so I do love it. It does bring its own appeal. So I just know the NFL, we saw, you talked about the Detroit game. I was talking to a friend as well. He's a Detroit fan, and he wasn't too big about it. Detroit, I said, look, man, Chris Jones is not there. Travis Kelce may not play. There's a good chance you guys could win, and you were talking about it as well too. And looking at them, they pulled it off Thursday night game.
This is what I'm gonna say with this whole Detroit hype. Everybody is, listen, man. We both actually said it, but I called for Detroit to cover the spread and possibly win the game. It'd be real close. I actually said they would win the game. But if you watch the game, stop it with the Detroit hype. They're a really good team.
They should have won by more, yeah.
They should have lost the damn game.
Yeah.
They didn't have Kelce. They didn't have the defensive, Chris Jones. And Kadarius Toney literally, I, I haven't seen that bad of a wide receiver, performance since I don't know when.
Yeah.
And they still only won by 1 point. So, and it took a pick six, a tipped ball, a la Dak Prescott through the hands to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, I thought the same thing. When you're giving the guy like David Montgomery a lot more carries than you were Dick Gibbs, it's like, why'd you draft him in the first round? There's a couple of questions there. Hopefully they'll iron it out. But I could see last year that's what's their whole thing. They scored points. I don't see that as a problem this year.
Right.
And then you go and get rid of your offensive coordinator. And so to me, okay, what happened? You keep your defense coordinator, which that was your problem, was that your defense was just getting scored on all year last year, and you keep and I'm an Eric Glenn fan. I really like him. I think he should be more teaching the secondary than he should be teaching the whole defense. But
I'm a Dan Campbell fan. I'm an Aaron Glenn fan. But let's everybody take a deep breath. And from what I saw, Detroit, is good. But come on, they should have. I mean, Kansas City was ripe for the picking to lose big time. Mm-hmm. The fact that it was only a 1-point game, stop it. Just please slow down with the Detroit love. And I'm on record as saying that I think they're going to win the North, and that's fine. But everybody take a breath. But listen, that's fine. Let them have all the accolades because you know how it works, right? Let them go. I want to stay under the radar. That's just what I want to do.
Yeah, so. I'm okay. Yeah, but that's the thing is when you look at the NFC in general, there's not a whole lot of teams that are up there. So we're going to be talked about. There's definitely going to be some trash talking when you come to 31 other teams, not just 3 other teams in your division like you get with a lot of other teams. So as we continue on, I mean, there's a lot of games to talk about. Let's take a look. Do you want to go through? Do you want to start talking about this Cowboys Giants game?
Listen, man, you're the man hitting all the buttons. Whatever you want to talk about is what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so let's talk about the Cowboys Giants, and then later on in the thing we'll talk about the other games as well that will go. Yeah. But Sunday night game, I mean, we're not surprised that's the Giants. I mean, that's kind of been the repetition for the past couple of years, and it's been there since really, honestly, Eli's days. So, hey, what do you think about? Obviously both teams. Probably not the healthiest that they could have been as an opening season game. So, we're both battling. So what do you think about the whole injuries piling up already?
Listen, man, it's nothing more frustrating. Me and Phil were both on record. And I don't see Ultra Cowboy in here. So
not yet.
He's Mr. Schoonmaker. And listen, I hope Luke Schoonmaker goes off. I mean, I know he's a good blocker.
Continue,
and
sorry.
I know, yeah. But this is why we were talking about getting a tackle in the second round, possibly the first round. But I don't have a problem taking Mozzie. That really helps our defense. But I would have loved to have had either a guard in the second round or whatever, tackle guard. Center guard to John Michael Schmitz.
Yeah, he'll be on the Giants. He'll be on the Giants on the other side.
That's what I was looking at because of this exactly. Everybody wants to talk about a Tyron Smith. He got up for $9 million. He's already breaking down. And I love you, Tyron. I just don't understand this team sometimes. But be that as it may, as Mark Holmes is in the house, that's his favorite line. We're going to be fine tomorrow night.
I think so.
Take
too.
a deep breath.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But, Phil, I will just real quick. What I will tell you is I do not want to play Chuma Edoga, which the Cowboys are going to do. If Tyler Smith does not play,
you don't think Richards will be in?
going to start.
You don't think Richards will be in there?
Well, he's the tackle.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you don't put your best guys in there.
TJ Bass should get the start.
I would say Bass should get the start more than anybody.
Absolutely. Oregon product. Had over 70 snaps in the preseason. That's right, Mr. Alum over there. He had over 70 snaps in the preseason, didn't give up one pressure. TJ Bass is the real deal. Where he struggles is run blocking right now. Because of what, Phil? We always talk about being in the NFL program, just getting a little bit stronger. He'll be a lot better next year, and I think he's going to take over the left guard spot.
And I
Tyler
think,
will swing.
and I'm with there with Richards. Asim Richards. I mean, that's another guy that I feel pretty good about. Where I don't feel that same. Oh my God, what are we gonna do if Tyrone Smith goes out? I mean, yes, there are guys,
or
but
Asim might be the left tackle.
But
either way,
this whole this offense is based off of 3-step drops. They're quick passes. Like what stops that? Well, maybe the rain. We're talking about possible. Mark's brought it up with possible downpour or whatever, but. If that's something, I mean, you still try to pass the ball. You see what these receivers, because it's not the same receiving core as the Giants faced last year. You're going into the season, and you're like Noah Brown, and you had a CeeDee Lamb out there that was still trying to figure out his way. Was he going to be a starter? Was he going to be the number 2 behind somebody? You had a Michael Gallup that was not here at all. You had Dalton Schultz that was disappeared. So I mean, to tell me that they had weapons, don't give me that. This year they have weapons, and they have weapons in the 4th, 5th, those 6th and 7th receiving. Just basically weapons. I mean, if you really look at it.
Yes. Well, I was watching. Just forgive me. It was on DMV's stream. He was on a podcast with a girl, and she was just laying into Dak Prescott about last year and saying that he had weapons. People, I don't care who you root for. Did Dak Prescott have weapons last year other than CeeDee Lamb, who didn't make his mark until a few games into the season? We all remember when he crapped the bed in New York, dropped a couple wide open balls, remember? And then somebody got in his ear. He took care of himself and stepped up as the number 1 receiver. Dak did not have a lot of weapons last year. Me and Phil were crying for Kevontae Turpin to be more integrated in the offense. And what we had was CeeDee Lamb, a banged up, coming off, should not have played at that point, Michael Gallup, Noah Brown getting way too many snaps, Eastside Harold, shout out to you. That's what we were dealing with. That was it. And Tony Pollard. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, and then you got Glimmerman that says, we have not seen this 3-step drop yet. We really haven't seen anything, though, from the offense when you really look at it. I mean, they're not going to give it everything to you. And I'm not really saying to be in that offense. I'm just saying if it becomes the point where that may be a problem, you give those guys a chance. But if it becomes a problem, then you try to go to your 3-step drops. But you're right. We haven't really seen anything from that. But I trust these receivers. I trust these tight ends. I trust these running backs, these guys coming out of the backfield, to be able to get these balls very quickly and do some damage with it. And so that's what I like. I mean, I will agree, and you were right earlier in the offseason when you were talking about that. The Giants have definitely improved. They were a one-win team, playoff in the sense, get in there. They were right there. And so, I mean, it might not have been as impressive how they got in there or how they got those victories sometimes. But, they have their own type of stacks. Once a team, seeing some other podcasts as well too, but like when they score once 27 points or so last year, that was the other team. They lost every single game. If Barkley doesn't get on a roll and it's all on Jones, they have a problem there. And now, yes, Jones has a lot of weapons. What do you think about the weapons that he has this year compared to last year? And I'll jump on there as well too.
Yeah, well, listen, man. As far as I'm concerned, we need to shut the run down. I got an interesting stat that I said on my live earlier this afternoon. Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones is 9-0-1 when they have 30-plus run attempts in a game. Just think about that number. When they have 30-plus runs a game, Daniel Jones hasn't lost a game. So they're going to come out and trying to run the ball. Most likely to the edges, which is what I've been telling everybody. Trying to suck in everything and do play action over the top of Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt is a speedster. The one thing that Diggs will get, he gets a little jump happy. He wants to make a play. Don't think that we can't get beat deep, because we can if they could run the ball. Mm-hmm. Now, the counter to that is score points and stop the run, make them one-dimensional, and then Michael Parsons can feast. But I don't know, Phil. What do you think?
When I look
think
at,
we got to shut down Saquon.
we've had a good record in the past of doing that, so I think they take it on, especially when you got Parsons hanging out with Barkley in the offseason. It's not like he's going to take this for light, especially the whole defense. I think it's not the same thing. We didn't, Hankins is coming back and playing the Giants finally. He didn't play the Giants last year. So you don't think there's going to be something extra in his tank to try to take on his former team and really make an impact? So you add in stuff like, and then nothing against it. I love you. We were talking about Michael, I can't remember the center. What we're talking about, the center for the Giants.
John Michael Schmidt.
Yes. So we love him and everything, but Brian brought it up a great point that he struggles with power when it comes to. And what do we have in that center? Hankins, Mozzie, Ozzie. Those are power guys. And so, that spells a recipe for possibly some disaster right there, especially up in the middle.
Yeah.
But when you look at the weapons, you're looking at Hyatt. I mean, he's the fourth receiver. Let's be real. I mean, you got other ones, Slayton. You got other guys that are weapons here. And you got Campbell, I believe. He lines up in the backfield, and he kind of has that Debo type of thing that they try to use him at.
Paris Campbell will exactly run in the line up in the backfield. What's up, Jay?
So I think he's got some great weapons. Waller, I think, is an amazing tight end.
We'll get back to you. I'll make sure he does.
Again, for example, what's that?
Coles. No, I'm talking to the chat, man.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. No, I was just making sure it wasn't me trying to get back to somebody. But when you look at these weapons like Waller, amazing tight end, yes. But if he can't stay healthy through the season, and we're talking about the same thing as Tyron Smith, we're putting Waller, in the same category as Tyron for us. You have a great weapon there. You have somebody that can be solid and get you some wins just by him being in the roster. But if he can't stay healthy, he doesn't mean anything to you.
Exactly.
And so, but you got to give them credit. They do have some weapons. But, man, what about our defense? We have weapons, too. This isn't the same defense as it was going in last year that was struggling towards the end. These corners, this is a different corner. We're not talking about Anthony Brown over there on the other side. We're talking about Gilmore. So I really expect us to be able to do a great job matching up now. You are right, Brian. They're going to have a certain point where they're going to be able to attack and pull off something, because that's just how it happens. I mean, these are rivalry games. But I don't fear them, and I don't fear that passing attack as much as, most teams are probably trying to lead on.
They're not going to beat us, Phil, throwing the ball consistently. They're going to beat us by being able to run the ball, throw that. I mean, he's going to dink and dunk. They're going to run, and then run again. And then when they do pass, if nothing's open, Danny Dimes is going to run.
Yep.
So...
And I expect a lot of teams to want to do that, And I mean, that's not just a surprise that New York's going to take that strategy. Now, if it rains, that's going to be kind of right up their alley, because that they want to run. But I don't really fear that as well too, because our team can run the ball as well. We got some really good weapons.
I heard Broada say that like a rainy game will favor the Giants. I don't believe that to be. I think our defense is faster and better. If it rains, it's going to make them even less of a threat to throw the ball, even less. Whereas Dak has already proven to be a good wet ball thrower. So I'll be there. I'm not expecting a steady rain. We may get a shower here or there. Thank God I'm under the overhang down in the end zone. But I ain't worried about that. I believe that if that happens and it's bad weather, it actually favors us. We have more skill. I just think we have more explosive players.
I agree too.
Offense and defense. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I definitely agree as well too. I mean, Giants. Yeah, when we're talking about them, we got the weapons. Barkley. He just. I'm not going to hang up past experiences with what they are going to do. It definitely is a different team. It knows how to fight. It knows how to scrap. It's a rivalry game. It can go any direction really as well. But I feel confident about this team. Now this team can come out and do absolutely nothing. And then obviously we're talking about a whole different subject, following next week. But, if they do what we're expecting to do, and we don't have anything based off of anything, because obviously we haven't seen anything even in training camp and stuff, just little quick flashes against a possible elite defense. So when they're not making those plays, I'm interested to see how they do against other NFL teams.
Jay Smooth, you have to wait till the end of the show, man. You know
What's
we
that?
do our picks at the end.
Oh yeah.
I'm going into
He's
the
like trying to
mailbox.
jump in. He's trying to jump in there, man.
Come on now, Jay Smooth. Come on, be patient. Twiz says running back favors the Giants. Danny Saquon can run the ball. You know, Saquon hasn't won a game against the Cowboys, so slow down with the Saquon.
Well, and that's the thing about it. You say that like,
man.
you know, like Dak can't. I mean, I know Dak chooses not to, but that doesn't mean we don't have a quarterback like a Cooper Rush. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, you know, when you have these running backs like Deuce Vaughn, you have Tony Pollard, I don't really worry too much about Dak running the ball. I don't really want him to. Just get it out of your hands real quickly, get it into those guys' playmakers' hands and see what they can do with it.
You know where I want him to run the ball, Phil? Is at the goal line.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be the new thing. Everybody in the league is going to do what the Eagles do, a Twiz. So get ready. You created this monster.
It's like when Miami started whipping out the Wildcat. Everybody's like, "Ooh, the Wildcat!" You're like, "Man, that's a college thing. Whatever, man." It's like, and it lasted a season.
Rico Dowdle's going to be pushing Dak into the end zone.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Dowdle does. So there's definitely some guys there that you know, there's going to be some stories, isn't it? I mean, there's plenty of stories when it comes to. Hold on, I'm trying to switch some stuff around here. But one thing that I was thinking going in is the matchups that were going across the board. Who's going against who? Where are these small little matchups that are happening throughout the game? Let's talk about some of those. Because
I
those
can tell you the first matchup, Phil, but you have
go ahead.
Graphics.
No. I'm not doing any kind of graphics on this one. I just want to let's talk straight. Let's talk straight. Who's the matchups? There we go.
All right, the matchup of the game is our offensive weapons. You know where I'm going with this. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert against two rookie cornerbacks on the outside and Adoree Jackson now playing the slot. Okay, Adoree Jackson is decent for a little guy, but you have Banks, the rookie corner out of Maryland, and you have, you know the name, out of Old Dominion on the other side. You have two rookie corners playing on the outside. I don't care in what planet are you talking about. They're going to get cooked. Not once, not twice, probably multiple times. If that's...
And I expect them to make an occasional play as well, too, because, I mean, you're not going to have everything perfect. But, yes, I definitely believe so. You're going to see a lot of that. And that's why...
That's where the matchup is.
So
throw to run. Throw to get a lead. Run to drain the clock.
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of the trenches. To me, this is going to be one definitely in the trenches when it comes to both teams. I mean, we all know New York has a really good defensive edge rushers, you know, and so, you know, we have some questions going in there, but, you know, I'm expecting our line to really be able to hold up against them. The interior of their offensive line against the interior of our defensive line, we were talking about the matchups, how they lack, you know, they struggle with a lot of power, where our guys be able to do anything against the run. So there's going to be a combination of stuff there. But to me, it got to go a little bit further to the outside. It's the Micah Parsons versus Andrew. Andrew Thomas. Yeah, and that's going to be a key matchup. I mean, we saw last year, for example.
Good luck, Andrew.
Thomas. He did really well against Parsons the first year, but they had a lot of scheme stuff to get 2-3 bodies on Parsons. And then by the second game, you know, Parsons already had 2 sacks on him. So, I mean, you know, Parsons going in this year, putting on a little bit of weight, working with Andrew Whitworth. So, I mean, he's definitely elevated his game. So, I'm interested to see that matchup, to see what happens there, especially when it comes to Daniel Jones' blind side. But what I want to talk about as well, too, because I don't know how much, you want to talk about Parsons versus Andrew there.
Yeah, well, listen, what I want to see is, they're going to try and run to the, I think they're going to run at Parsons is what they're going to try and do.
Yeah, and I think that's smart.
Yeah, and that's what I would do. Shout out to the Eagles. They played Micah, last year's Micah, who was great. I think this year's Micah is going to have with 20 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think. I got a lot of activity here, but I expect Micah to be all over the field. He put on some much added padding / muscle Hopefully that extends him through the season and he can stay fresher longer. But yeah, as much as I like Andrew Thomas, he's not. If he's Mike is cooking everybody, so he gonna cook Andrew Thomas.
Well, I'm interested to see if they'll switch him over to the other side, to Neal's side, and let him kind of feast on Neal, because Neal definitely struggles, and so I'm interested to see if Tank is actually going to wake up pretty early and kind of show his that the fact that he's having to take on Neal, and maybe they'll pull in the coverage over to Parsons' side. So I mean, this defensive line should be able to make some plays for each other, and then you add in that secondary, adding in some more time for them. That's going to be interesting. So I'm interested to see what this defense is going to do, and if the offense does struggle a little bit to get going, because what happened last year, and I'm going to make this subject because I really want to kind of bring this up. But before we go up into this subject, Rolando Rodriguez says, "Primetime game time. What's up from South Texas? The weather is rainy. What's the biggest problem? Is the rain the biggest problem for the Cowboys, basically?"
Yeah, no, the rain is. I mean, there might be a couple showers in the area. I looked at my phone. I'll be at the game, and they're calling for 50%. It's hit or miss. It's not going to be a steady rain. It's imperative that the Cowboys don't get down more than one score in this game. I mean, I could see the Giants getting the ball and scoring first. I could definitely see that. But then, Dallas is a second-half team anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me Dan Quinn making adjustments. You just don't want to get overtaken by the crowd and everything. I don't foresee that at all. I see Dallas having an attitude, coming out playing with attitude. They hear all the noise. They hear nobody giving them any chance, giving the division to the Eagles and kissing up to the Detroit Lions. They hear it all. You're going to learn a lot about the Cowboys tomorrow night, but it's not the end-all, be-all either. Right, Phil? We lost the last two openers against Tom Brady. I don't think we're losing. Dak Prescott, remember, he's undefeated against the Giants. The only time he lost was when he was out. We lost. I'm telling you, the rain will not be a factor tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Them dumb players don't like the elements, except Micah. Elena, I'm telling you, it's not going to be that bad. If you live in the area, which I think you do, they were talking about rain all day today. I think it showered once for 5 minutes.
Now, when I look at this team, I mean, kicking off, you got Turpin ready. I'm ready to see him do some stuff. Of course, I always fear that Turpin mess up during the game. That's always kind of been the pattern. So let's see if he can kind of wash himself away from that stigma there. But I'm interested in the other stuff. I mean, once they go on offense, I want to see. I like seeing how many playmakers we have out there. I'm interested to see some of the sets that we pull off. One thing that we're going into this year, I hear the Giants people. Yeah, we're different. We have a different roster. We're different. Well, guess what, man? This Cowboys team is different as well, and they proved it in a lot of good ways. It wasn't like they went around and they got a new quarterback or anything like that. No, they got the quarterback that whoops your ass every single season, same quarterback, and then they went and got rid of Zeke Elliott. They let him walk. They kept Tony Pollard, the one that runs all over your ass, Tony Pollard, and then they added in Deuce Vaughn to kind of complement him. Rico Dowdle to hopefully do the pounding there. So you got the tight end crowd, you got the offensive line, you got some amazing wide receivers. So I expect this offense to really move. But I think with all those pieces, what's different from last year is, of course, not having Kellen Moore here. You turn around, you put Super Bowl winning offensive coordinators in there. Let's be real. I mean, you have Schottenheimer and you have McCarthy, and they both have won off a Super Bowl with these type of offense and with them calling the plays. So I love that improvement going forward, situational footballs. So what do you like about this offense going into the season compared to last season?
Well, I would say last season's offense, I would call it disjointed. They were just kind of, Kellen Moore he was kind of just calling plays. There was no rhyme or reason why he was calling it. Nothing built or set up anything. He was just about analytics. That'll work. Let's do it. But you weren't really setting anything up for later in the game. Expect the West Coast offense to be a lot different. You're going to have your wide receiver slant with your tight ends doing a quick hitch at the line of scrimmage, one of the two is going to be open. You know what I mean? The West Coast concept for Dak Prescott is going to do him wonders for his career. It's going to extend his career, get the ball out of your hands.
I think what's crazy is that you might see his completion percentage actually go up with that. I mean, you've seen the implications in the sense of what Kellen Moore ran with our backup quarterbacks, and then you saw the system get put in with Schottenheimer and all of them, and then they went with the backups, and there was already probably like a 10, 20-point improvement in the percentage.
Yeah, they were running the Air Coryell offense with one receiver last year. I mean, the offense puts up numbers. Yes, it does. But they were, doing a lot of 5 and 7, step drops, waiting. And, Brian Broaddus did say this, and I will agree. The only time you got to worry about Dak is when he doesn't see somebody is sitting wide open.
The linebacker.
No, I mean, but like sometimes a receiver will go out for a route and then, you come back and do a little curl, whatever. He's wide open, and Dak is just, you're already taking a 5 or 7 step drop. You don't have that much time, and you might miss a receiver. Listen, we went back and looked. There was 5 of those interceptions, Phil, out of the 15. Now, I understand he only played 12 games. I get it. It wasn't a great year. But, I mean, 5 of them went right through the receiver's hand. So now all of a sudden you're talking about 10. Still a high number, but a lot of quarterbacks have 10. I think this offense fits perfectly well with Dak. I'm just excited to see it. Not to mention the weapons that you stated earlier. Kevontae Turpin's going to see more action. You know what I mean? They're going to spread out the field. They're going to make teams really, it's going to put them in a bind.
Yeah.
Because when you spread them out, I understand it puts the offensive line, it's a little more risky, but you're spreading the field out using the whole field with speed. Speed kills. Mm-hmm. And we have speed. So.
Yeah, we have a lot of weapons. I'm interested in this whole Cook, putting him inside of this offense. You always see it. Okay, I think you saw it with Cooper. You saw it with Dak. There's been some times where they put some wide receivers. You're thinking that there's going to be connection with Dak. And it's just like any other quarterback, man. Either it works or it doesn't. And when it doesn't, trust me, it does not work. But when you see that work, I mean, it's a beautiful sight. And you saw it with Amari Cooper right off the bat. The first game he comes out, he's scoring, he's making an impact within the first couple of games. And I can see that exactly with Cooks. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get 1,000 yards this year because you have a lot of weapons on that field. But with how he can stretch the field and all of a sudden bust a tackle and then just take it, there's a good chance that he may hit that 1,000-yard mark again. So I like that combination of those wide receivers on this secondary that you were talking about. If there's a little sprinkle, you said it best when you said Dak is a really good wet ball thrower. I trust more in these receivers than I did last year of catching the ball. Compared to Noah Brown and his Jacksonville, for example, interception there. So I'm interested to just see it. I'm with you, man. We haven't seen anything. For me, the type of offense that they're going to have should hopefully counter some of that lag that they may turn around and have. Do you think they will have some lag going in like they did, really, honestly, almost previous seasons?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Dak was number 4 in the league. Yeah, we'll get to that.
No,
Dak was number 4 in the league against the blitz. The one thing Wink Martindale tomorrow night is going to do, he's going to blitz, and he's going to blitz a lot. It's going to put a lot of pressure on our offensive line, which leads into Elena Walker's comment. Go ahead, Phil.
We waiting to see that Texas coast and put it on film, and that's what she's waiting. That's what I was laughing.
No, that's shaky. Who blocking the defense?
Yeah, that's what I was laughing. It was just, it's just.
Well, see, that's the thing, too, Elena, is that we have a lot of unknowns. We have that advantage, okay? We know the Giants, the only way they're going to have a chance to win tomorrow is if they come out and run the ball 30 times and do the short passing game, and when nothing's open, Danny Dimes can run. Outside of that, you're not beating us. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. But, we have to do it.
Go ahead and give Rodriguez his
You hit the chat.
comment.
Hit it hard.
You're go ahead. Now I want you to read it. Primetime and game time. Are the Cowboys going to be throwing a lot on the wet ball, or are they going to be running the damn ball? Man, hopefully to do like West Coast and say run the damn ball. But I really think if you don't have that weather thing, I think this offense is really going to benefit a lot if they pass to open up the run in this game. I'm not saying this in every single game, but these rookie cornerbacks, this young secondary, I really want to see them attack them. We know this defensive line and these edges are really good at stopping the rush, so I don't really worry about testing them there. I really want to test their secondary. I really want to get these tight ends involved because these corners are a little bit smaller. They are wiry, don't get me wrong. But I'm interested to see a bigger guy get in the outfield there and start doing some damage. So, and I'm interested to see, of course, guys like Deuce Vaughn. I mean, you know, we have not seen this guy run behind the starting offensive line. I mean, we see how these guys are huge. Now, of course, the question mark is Tyron Smith going to play? Is Tyler Smith going to play? They're pretending that he is. We don't know. Tyler Smith says that he felt good, but they're going to keep him out of I don't know, man. Like, it's always a game, and the games start now. Do you see, if you had to guess right now, what do you think those guys start?
I think Tyron starts. I think Tyler does not play. I think that Sam Williams starts. I think Donovan Wilson does not play. So those are the four major. I just saw where Malik Hooker has an illness. I expect him to go. Give him an IV. You know how that works. But, you know, hey, the one area where we are very deep is safety. So I'm not overly concerned. So, yeah, that's my I don't think Tyler's going to go. I did hear that he worked out today and he might give it a go. I was on with Mark for a few minutes before, after I got home from work. And I'll be surprised if Tyler plays. Why risk it for, you know what I mean?
Especially when you got the Jets next week.
Injuries go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not against it. I just really, I'm more who's going to be that guy. If it's a Doga, I'm not.
It's a Doga.
I'm not into that. I would rather see these other guys, but hey, we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, what I would say real quick with the Doga is I don't think Mike Solari will do what Jason Garrett and his offensive line.
Just keep on it.
Just leave. What was his name? Chaz Green out there to get roasted. And give up 8 sacks. If expect TJ Bass to be active. I did see Brock Hoffman getting a lot of work, so they like Brock Hoffman. So I'm Mr. Go Young. This Adoga, the cat, he hasn't shown me anything. So Rolando, primetime and game time. With the weather conditions, is going to be windy with a rookie kicker. Don't want it to come.
Is he rookie kicker, though? I mean, rookie NFL, not necessarily rookie kicker.
Kicking the winning field goal. Well, as you see my new jersey back here, just don't pull a Ray Finkel, all right? Laces out, my man. Laces out. I don't want to see, and we'll get to my prediction later, but, I don't expect a perfect game with the weather.
I just don't want it to be as bad as it's been in past years.
I don't think
we'll see. I like the guy. I like this guy compared to previous years. I have a good feeling about him. But again, we all know, Monty Maher last year until that last game where it was like 4 all of a sudden extra points. It wasn't even field goals. They were just extra points, and you're just like, really? This is what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna do this?
Well, stay tuned for the whole extra point thing.
Oh, here we go.
Like, it is going to be a little windy and bad weather.
Yeah, so, I mean, Rolando is definitely on the money in some ways. But let's talk about the NFL, man. Let's talk about some of these other games. Let me pull up the NFL.
Go with the Birds. Right now we got Oregon. Texas Tech is tied at 7. Oregon is ranked 13. Come on. Let's go.
Oregon.
Phil's alma mater. Let's friggin' go. But anyway.
Let's see. So it looks like Carolina versus Atlanta. Like Carolina, of course, Atlanta getting a running back in the first round, changing a little bit. I've heard a little chatter in the background that Atlanta could be that team. You know how there's always this team that's in the bottom of the division or bottom of the team that all of a sudden they're a playoff team? I'm hearing chatter that the Atlanta Falcons are this team. Do you jump on that bandwagon at all?
Right now, I'm looking at the game. It's in the Mercedes-Benz, Atlanta's the home team. Atlanta is a
hot Atlanta.
Yeah, hot Atlanta. The
Einhorn Finkel.
That's the mecca of strip joints in Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3.5-point favorite against the Carolina Panthers. If I had to pick a side, I'm going Atlanta. I'll go with Atlanta. You got Bijan. You got a lot of weapons in Atlanta. I think that's a good bet tomorrow against a rookie.
That's what I was thinking too. The rookie out of quarterback from Carolina.
Yeah.
I think it might be a rough. I would probably put Atlanta as that team as well. So I could definitely see that, especially with the home team.
I like New Orleans out of that division this year too. I think they have a step. I think they take.
Well, they've done
a major step.
They've done a great job of improving their team, definitely.
Yeah, and they got Derek Carr. Who I like Derek Carr. I'm not saying he's the end all be all, but I like Derek Carr.
He's better than what they had. I mean, I wasn't a big Jameis Winston fan, so I'm definitely all about improving. And is that an improvement from the previous year? Yes, that definitely is. You're just paying that one gadget quarterback. I think that's the only thing that they got to keep on mixing in there. So when we talk about the next game, we're talking about Houston versus Baltimore. Right there, AFC two AFC teams that Baltimore, of course, Lamar Jackson coming back after signing this big contract. I expect Baltimore to kind of ball out because Lamar is going to want to, just ball. I think he's going to want to prove something. So I'd expect Baltimore to do some big things. I don't expect too much from Houston, but Houston has put some pretty good young guys together. So what do you think about that matchup?
I like the Baltimore Ravens. They're favored by 9.5 at home against Eastside Herald's Houston Texans. I think Baltimore is going to crush the Texans tomorrow.
I think so too.
Thanks, Twiz.
West Virginia. Time, is that West Virginia Country Boy? Is that what that is? Or WV or Country Boy says, Bryan, what is the name of your channel? Let me see.
Well, Twiz already posted it. He was already on it.
Shit, look at that. Thank you, Twiz. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Come on, baby. Come on. But yes, that is it. Thanks, Twiz. And now pinned by Primetime. So thank you so much.
Browns I like
Baltimore.
I like it.
I like Baltimore big time. So
I would agree as well too. Even and they're in Baltimore, so I mean that definitely should help them. They'll be pumped up and ready.
Baltimore's a great home team.
They got some good team.
Baltimore to have a bounce.
Odell Beckham. I mean, they put some good weapons together. So I mean, I don't
Odell
expect much.
Beckham aside, to me, he's the least of my concern. But I agree. They got J.K. Dobbins, Mark Holmes.
He's smoking crack in here. Is that my whole Lamar?
No, I think he means at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
I would hope. Because don't talk about our people watching our stream, man. Come on now.
How dare you? So the next game we have is Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns, and of course, Kid Cowboys says Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
Kid Cowboy, cocaine is a hell of a drug, right, Adam Scott?
It's just like but I'm hoping, I'm hoping that he's really messing with us a little bit. But Browns. Have they improved from last year? I mean, they tend to stay with guys that they shouldn't walk away from.
Well,
go ahead.
It's funny you said that. Well, the Cleveland Browns are a 1.5-point underdog at home. This is a situation where I'd like the Browns to win the game outright against Cincinnati. Joe Burrow getting a big deal. I think, you got Cincinnati making fun of the logo of being an elf at midfield. I just think this is a one game where I think Cleveland comes out and balls out and beats
Lord Nova?
Cincinnati at home.
Okay.
That's just me. Welcome, Lord Nova. What up, my man?
Man, I like that little thing.
A better team, but
I think Cincinnati is a better team, but I could see that. I mean, I haven't seen Watson play. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I know, but I have a weird feeling that Cleveland's going to beat Cincinnati, and they're going to oh my God,
Browns are for real.
Exactly. Let's not get carried away after week 1. Okay.
So the next one here, we got Jacksonville versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis, of course, taking some people. We're taking some people from them. They're taking some people from us. But you got the Colts versus the Jags in Indianapolis. I think Jacksonville is a way better team. I expect him to do well. I don't, Trevor Lawrence, I think, has had his ups and downs, but Man, I definitely like Colts in this matchup. I feel not Colts. Sorry,
Oh, you like
Jags.
the Colts.
Sorry, I like the Jags in this matchup
Yeah,
because
okay.
the Colts haven't
Okay,
improved
we're good.
enough. Sorry, I was gonna jump into the Colts whole
Right.
thing and I jumped on that first.
Like,
So
all of a sudden you
yeah, I just switched it on you. Yeah, now that I think about
threw
it,
me
no.
out for a loop. We haven't rehearsed this, people.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm gonna
like
say.
the Jags. As much as Richardson has flashed, listen, man, the preseason isn't the NFL. I really like Jacksonville this year to make a run going to the Super Bowl. I'm not ready to say they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to be a serious contender. I love Jacksonville minus the 4.5. That's a lot on the road. Give me the Jags. Rookie quarterback. It's not happening. Sorry.
No, I would agree. I would definitely take Jags. Tampa versus Minnesota. So
That's a tough one.
My whole thing is Tampa a worse team? Is Tampa a good team? Like I'm hearing, they're in that bottom tier, but has their defense changed that much? I mean, I still expect their defense to be formidable, but is their offense that much of a difference with a guy like Baker Mayfield behind there?
This is a weird thing. This is another situation where I will roll with Tampa and the points in Minnesota. I think Minnesota, outside of Justin Jefferson, their defense is meh. I think they are going to take a step back this year. I think Tampa plus 5.5. I think that's a close game. That's a lot. That's one of those where you say, oh my God, Tampa's going to stink. I think Baker comes out and lights it up week 1. I don't know that they win, but I think they keep it close. Who cares, right? I don't think either one of these teams are going to be a threat.
No.
But Minnesota being a 5.5 point favorite at home, I'm that.
See, I'm jumping on the other side. I'm gonna do the yin yang whole thing. We like to do that sometimes. Which goes to show with this channel, this is what this is all about. To me, it's what
44 people.
What Minnesota team is going to actually show up? I think that's really always the question. Tampa Bay, I think it's more of an identity.
So that's good.
I think it's more of an identity thing when it comes to Tampa. What is there going to be their identity throughout the year?
Regina Green.
Regina, what does she say? Oh, there he goes. Vikings are not are like Eagles, not a threat. That's the thing. It's just you've seen them when it comes to prime time. When it comes to prime time type of games, they don't really do very well in. And I think that's more of a Kirk Cousins. He's had that thing since Washington, and you can't really always hang your hat on that. I mean, eventually they break through there, and these don't mean anything. But I just don't know which team is going to, other than Justin Jefferson. They get rid of Thielen. And they bring in some guys, but it's just, did you improve? I don't know if the team improved, and so that's the part that
there's no way you could say that they improved. You just can't, Phil.
Yeah,
they did not improve. You lost Dalvin Cook, one of your most explosive players, other than Justin Jefferson. Your defense is meh.
Yeah.
I think they. Yeah,
take a step back.
Win a game. I just think it's going to be a close game. I just think that's one of those.
I think what will happen is because nobody expects too much. This is where Minnesota all of a sudden just blows out Tampa Bay, and then everybody's like, "Minnesota's amazing," and then they'll go 5-0, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God!" And then that's just how Minnesota. And I'm not previous years not saying it like that. I'm talking about how they're built now, the way that the team is right now.
Built different.
Yeah, it's to me it reminds me a lot of the Jets. Like I watch Hard Knocks, I see them. I think they have a very good team that definitely have improved. But once you get past those 7 stars that they have in their team, what's the meat and potatoes behind that?
Right.
It was nice, toppings on top of it. But after you get past those guys, it's just what is there? Where's the depth? And so I don't see that with them, and I think that offensive line is really questionable. So that's where I put them in that same category. Sorry, I went off on the Jets over there.
No, you're good, man.
So Tennessee versus New Orleans. This is where we're talking about. Both of those teams, they definitely improved from last year. Have they improved a lot? I think I lay on with you. New Orleans has definitely improved a lot more than Tennessee. Tennessee, of course, gets Hopkins, but how much of a big improvement? I think Hopkins is that piece that you needed to replace A.J. Brown because you got rid of your big guy. So hopefully, if he stays healthy, he'll be able to bring that element back to you. So I would expect him to improve.
Yeah, I love New Orleans. in this game. Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. New Orleans is a 3-point favorite at home. I like New Orleans this year. I do. A bounce back year. I like Derek Carr. That he's a way better option at quarterback. You know, you got Olave on the outside. You got Michael Thomas supposedly coming back.
Yeah, I wouldn't hang my
They
hat on
won't
that.
have Kamara. I think he's been suspended for a few games, but I'll take New Orleans in that one.
When I look
It's
at that
the
matchup,
new Caesars Superdome, so I guess that's the new sponsor.
I would think New Orleans as well. I think they've improved enough to really put it, especially being at home. Again,
definitely.
any of these games could be a surprise as well too. San Francisco versus Pittsburgh. I think this should be a good, really matchup. This would be nice.
I love this game. I'm going to be listening to this on my drive up. I don't know. What do you think? Before I get into mine, what do you think about this game, Phil?
Now, I would automatically want to try to hang this on San Francisco. I would think that they could come out and really take this game. I don't, has Pittsburgh improved really? Again, I'm putting them in the same thing. I mean, have they improved a lot? Have they put enough weapons around what they have as a young quarterback that they weren't even sure about last year? I mean, they were going with other people before they even put Pickett in, and then they kind of just rode it out, which was the smarter decision.
Right.
So you got your guy to have some experience. So him going into this other year, that doesn't mean he's just learned everything. Until I see him put the body of work in there, I don't expect much. Now, I was always a guy that liked Pickett coming out of college, so I do expect him to eventually morph into a NFL quarterback. It's just how I think that coach right there, Tomlinson, I think he's a great coach for him, but it's going to take some time. So I don't expect too much out of Pittsburgh, so I would have to throw it into San Francisco's court. But again, this is the NFL,
This is one of those games where the line is telling me something, Phil. If I were a betting man, I would bet the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm already on record as saying I don't believe the Niners are as good as they have been last year. Okay. I think they'll be a good team. They'll be a playoff team. They will not. I have a feeling this is upset city
that
right
defense.
here.
That defense is really
Pittsburgh
crazy.
is only a 2.5-point underdog at home against the vaunted Niners. I think that Mr.
I like it, Bryan.
Tommy John. I think Mr. Tommy John, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy is going to struggle on the road against a hostile crowd in Pittsburgh.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Exactly. I don't know, man. I mean, San Fran wins a close. Listen, there's just a weird line. I would have expected that line to be 4.5, 5.5, and it's only 2.5. Why? Why is that? Why? Because I think the Steelers are going to make a statement week one. So,
when I look at that San Francisco defense, of course, if they didn't have Bosa, I would think I'd be kind of pushing the other way, but Pittsburgh's offense got to do something against that San Francisco defense, and I think there's going to be
Pickens on the outside,
that Pittsburgh defense, and when I see it from the other side, and I look at the the offense for San Francisco attacking that Pittsburgh defense, I see more success there than I would the other way around. But you are correct, man. I mean, if there's something there, we've seen Vegas do this before, so maybe they see something. Maybe they see something that we have not seen.
Just weird. Just looking at that line, something don't add up.
So the weird one, Josh Dobbs and his Arizona Cardinals, weird. Going up against the Washington something, I don't know what their name is this year, but Washington's team.
Stand up.
They're going to go against them. They're going to go over to Washington and they're going to play against Arizona. But you expect anything from Arizona this year? I mean,
not at all. They're going to probably win 3 games this year, if that. Arizona, in the words of our buddy Shady McCoy, is ass. You might even want to, you throw in a third ass, if that's a thing. They're going to stink and stink bad.
Yeah, I think they may be a team that might just upset people to mess up their playoff stuff maybe at the end of the year.
The Commanders are going to roll. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about Sam Howell, and he's the next big thing after week 1.
Yep. Yeah, and you know the odds on that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
So Green Bay versus Chicago, a division that no longer has Aaron Rodgers inside there. Chicago possibly having a better chance of beating Green Bay than they've had for a past decade or so. How do you see this matchup going?
I love this game. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I don't love it for Green Bay. Chicago is only a 1.5 favorite at home. Green Bay is going to get clocked, and they're going to get clocked big time opening day in Chicago. I love the Bears in this game. I think Green Bay is a fraud. They're probably an 8 or 9 win team tops. I think the Bears are going to compete with Detroit for the division, probably come up a little short. I love the Chicago Bears minus the 1.5 at home at Soldier Field to beat Jordan Love. And now Christian Watson, the outside threat, is out in this game. They're going to try and run the ball. I just think Chicago at home, only laying a 1.5. Run the ticket to the booth, man. I love it.
When I look at this matchup, I'm interested to see Jordan Love finally. I don't expect a whole lot from him, but I do love this style of quarterback. Bringing him up, don't let him see the field, kind of letting him go behind somebody for some years, developing them, and then going from there. And so I'm interested to see if the body of work is going to help. It helps that your offensive person has been the same guy.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood, Logan.
It's funny how the guy's going to be the same guy, so that helps. Your guy is not having to learn some all new system, and within the lingo and everything like that. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do. We really haven't seen any kind of body of work when it comes to Jordan Love, but I'm going to jump kind of with you. I think Chicago is more because Chicago was able to be that type of team when they were facing Aaron Rodgers, and I definitely think that this Green Bay team takes a big step back when you don't have a guy like him on the field. Because let's be real, I mean we don't respect him, and sometimes, but he is a threat. That guy is a threat. They could be up by 3 touchdowns. As long as he's on the field, they are a threat. And so, not being in Green Bay anymore, I think that's going to be harsh on actually Aaron. But I'm interested to see this game. I'm with you, though. I think Chicago takes this game.
Yeah, I like that. I do. I mean, it's probably in the minority, but I don't care, man. Week 1 is usually one of the hardest weeks to predict, but that's an easy one for me. But maybe it's too easy, But I'm not. I don't bet my hard-earned money, so you take it for what it's worth. But if you're asking me my opinion, go with Chicago.
So when we get to the next game, we're going, of course, getting into those afternoon games with Chicago and Green Bay. Now we are talking about the Raiders versus Denver, getting into those rivals. The Raiders going against Denver and the Sean Payton Denver Nuggets. I don't know, Denver with, of course, Wilson. Wilson's been a little different, and of course, Seattle ships him out. Gets a great turnaround for it. Denver does make some moves. Does have some questionable moves, some front office moves, some coaching moves. It's been a pretty crazy couple of years for the Denver Broncos. So to see them come into this year, have a little bit more stability. Of course, their coach is opening his mouth and saying stuff about people that they shouldn't.
Yes.
And so, but other than that, I think now we're going into some football. What do you think about the Raiders versus the Broncos?
This is interdivisional, big time close game. You're playing in Denver when it's not that cold, which is where you want to play them. You want to play them early, if possible. This is a game where it's a 3.5 point. The Broncos are a 3.5 point favorite at home. I like Jimmy G plus the points.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm telling you. Okay. Russell Wilson has to prove it to me first. Give me Devontae Adams. Give me a pissed off running back for the Raiders. Help me out with the name. Out of Alabama. What's the
you
guy
talking?
Who didn't get the contract?
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
No, I know. Well, I
was thinking for some reason a rookie.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs. I expect them to go into Denver and keep it to within a field goal game. I actually like the Raiders to win. I do. Nobody's expecting it. I think the Broncos. You have Jerry Jeudy is out.
Yep.
Sean Payton's just stuck his foot in his mouth. I'm just not a Russell Wilson guy. Like the weight of the world is on it. I like the Raiders to keep it close and win it. But at the very least, they're going to cover the 3.5 points. I think it's a field goal game either way.
So I am going to go on this one. I'm going to go the opposite. I think Denver has. I think Denver has enough. I think I could see Raiders. Of course, we all know about how rivalry games are. Even as we make our predictions about the Cowboys-Giants game, we know how rivalry games can be. It can be a slugfest, especially if you're taking it a little bit more personal, because you see these guys twice a year. So I can totally understand why this could go either way, but I would put my money more on Denver. I think they have a lot more weapons. I think they have a coach now that can actually utilize that weapons and kind of adapt their offense to what Wilson does best, and that was what Schottenheimer did, and that's the type of offense that he was able to give Wilson, and so I expect them to see that type of offense to come back. So I would think Denver. I'm going to go more toward Denver, but hey. We'll see how these rivalry. It's going to be a good matchup. These week 1 matchups are pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty good. You're going to be lucky sitting home being able to just
see them all. Oh, my first NFL Sunday ticket.
I know, man. I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be up in North Jersey, but
I'm going to be making your thumbnails.
I told my son I'm going to get there early. We're going to try and see like a lot of the 4 o'clock games. They don't open up the gates until 2 hours before the game anyway, so we're going to have fun. We'll figure out something to do.
Nice. When I was looking here, we got the next game, and this is going to be an AFC game. I think this is going to be interesting because both of them have offense that have questions, but again, both offenses can put up points if they're given the opportunity, and that's, of course, the Miami Dolphins versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Both, there's some question marks on offense on both sides of the ball when it comes to these teams. But when you look at the Miami, what's Tua going to be? How is Tua going to come out this year? He's had a whole offseason to kind of heal. To me, I see him a lot like Teddy Bridgewater, where he's very delicate back there, and that's nothing against Tua. I'm not saying anything against him. It's more in the sense of the availability. We saw what happened when he got a couple of hits last year. So I'm interested to see if he's durable enough to withstand this offense. For this season. What do you think about Miami's offense going forward into this game?
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, rest in peace, Buffett.
Dolphins,
Warren Buffett, right?
I like Miami.
That's who sung that song. Yeah.
I like Miami Dolphins to go into I almost said
the Chargers. Yeah. Well, trust me, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen many times.
It's a 3-point game. I love Miami.
Captain Talkie.
Love them. There's speed.
Who do you have? I'm sorry. I didn't catch who you said. What was that?
I love Miami Dolphins.
Okay, so the Dolphins. Okay, so you got the Dolphins in this one. Yeah.
The Dolphins plus the 3 on the road against Kellen Moore and the Chargers. Everybody's sniffing the Chargers. Don't sniff them, man. Miami is really, really good.
They've definitely improved.
I like him week 1. He's healthy for now. 2 is healthy now. Whether he'll be healthy in 6 weeks, I can't tell you. Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm a little bit up in the air with this one because, again, there's definitely question marks. We saw Kellen Moore do his We saw Kellen Moore kind of implement his offense within the Chargers. They're moving the ball, We see the curl routes. Everybody's doing the curl routes at the exact same time. What they're doing for Dallas, for example, where they're sitting on those curl routes, all of a sudden you're going to see a lot of defense start to do that with the Chargers. Question is, does Miami do that right off the bat? I think Miami's defense has definitely improved, and they're pretty good last year. So I want to see how this offense goes because, if Tua can just kind of do his thing, I expect some pretty big things with this offense.
Liz.
So
yes, he is.
Is Jalen Ramsey playing? Yes.
I believe he is.
So, going into the next one, of course, we got a lot in the crowd. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New England Patriots. This one right here.
Go ahead, Phil. I want to hear your full thought before I get into this.
Now, when I look at the Patriots, this is a very young team. There's Belichick. He's the coach. You kind of put him in that Aaron Rodgers kind of category. He's not playing on the field, but the way he knows the weaknesses, he'll look back into your college tape. He'll see what happened in college that made you not do so well, and he'll take that, implement it into the pro game. So they go beyond and just what's on your rookie tape. So I expect them to kind of give them a slugfest, but I would definitely have to go with the Eagles on this one. I don't really think that the Patriots have enough weapons to really, even if it gets into a slugfest, that eventually the Eagles, talent will be able to push past what their young team. Now, a young team.
I like it.
And so, of course, I would put my money more on the Eagles this game.
But Cowboy says OU 14, SMU 3. My father was born in Oklahoma, was a diehard Sooner fan, so I'm sure he's looking down, happy about that. But I like. So who did you pick? You like the.
I like Philly.
Right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I already talked about this earlier on my lunchtime chat. I'd like it to be a close game at halftime. I think the Eagles go away in the second half, win by at least 10. I believe the Eagles are a far superior team than New England. I do not like the New England quarterback. I think this is another easy one. It's only a 3.5 point. Eagles are like New England's only getting 3.5. I think the Eagles win by 10.
Yeah, Logan, that might not be a bad score right there, 30-20. That's
there you go, Logan.
Yeah.
That's what I like exactly, and I think the
Ultra Cowboy. I like that. So we're just going through the game. So okay.
Oh, there he is, Ultra Cowboy.
For some reason, if we say Eagles enough time, he's like, okay, no, I cannot have this.
That was a bat signal.
Yeah,
dude, we're going over every game.
My spider senses are tingling.
Bro.
So as we go into the next matchup, of course, another LA team. Is it? No, yep. There's another LA team there, the Rams, going into the matchup, of course, against Seattle. The West Coast teams going against each other. There's definitely some bad blood there when we talk about these two teams. Pete Carroll always has something up his sleeve. You don't expect his team to give you too much of a fight. But somehow he's a scrapper. That guy is just running around, throwing passes in the offseason, looking pretty good, too, I have to say. But, Pete Carroll, is he going to have Geno Smith in this offense ready for what the Rams have? I mean, are the Rams going to bounce back? Are they going to have a good season?
Why is the line only 4.5 point favorite against the Rams? They're going to smoke the Rams.
You think so? Ooh. I think I got the Rams.
The Rams are ass.
Oh, okay.
At Lumen Field, come on now. Just real quick, what's the score of the Miami-Texas A&M game, Ultra? But yeah, I don't know. I understand it's a divisional game, Phil. Give me the Seahawks. Rams are bad. No Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, no Cooper Kupp. That's going to be big. That's going to be big because
Stafford,
you've seen what happened with Stafford when he didn't have Cooper Kupp in the past. He just kind of seems to be lost out there.
Yeah, and Stafford's wife's running her mouth. Come on.
So even when, for example, they have not, like, when Kupp was not open, he was going to still toss it out there and let him go up and get it.
Nice, Ultra, nice.
So yeah, man, I look at this matchup and I'm not excited about the matchup just because I don't think it's going to be much. I don't see a whole lot of scoring, but you never know. I mean, I expect both defenses to be better. But we'll see. I would have to go more towards the Rams on my side. I think they'll bounce back and start to put it up together. That doesn't mean they do good during the rest of the season. But, again, we're talking about openers where people are more available.
What up?
Thomas Garrett. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're yin and yang, man. We see it different. That's all right. Yeah, you have your case for why they're going to win. And I have the case why I think Seattle smokes them.
So we're going to jump over the Sunday night game because, of course, we're going to finish with that. And we're going to jump into those Monday night games. The Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers' debut at New York. It's going to be Monday Night Football. Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun. We can't get monetized if I sing it, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Dun, dun,
if I sing it off key.
Anyway,
but no,
what do you think? I want to hear your opinion.
I like this matchup. I think it's going to be a really good game. It's both teams again, we're talking about Jets team that's healthy going into the season. That's why I think they're going to definitely be a fight in there. Buffalo, to me, they're one of those teams that has a chance to get to the Super Bowl. It's going to definitely jump on Josh Allen's hands when it gets to the playoffs. As much as they like to throw it on the running backs, it goes as far as he allows it to go, and so it's going to really come down to that. So I expect them to be able to come out in the season opener and actually upset the Jets at home, and actually and pull out that win. I don't, but if the Jets come out and win, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I like Buffalo in this game.
The New York Jets Monday Night Football are plus 2.5 against the Bills.
Just a bit. Go ahead.
I love the Buffalo Bills to win and win big. I think the Jets get brought back down to reality on Monday Night Football. I think the Bills win by a touchdown easy. I don't care who they have. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go that way. I mean, I know the Jets defense, Scolari, he when he was in San Francisco, what he did with that defense, bringing that, of course, that culture is definitely good. It's going to be hard to score against, but yes, you're right. I can definitely see them scoring more just because, hey, Buffalo has a good defense,
you can
too.
have the best pass rush in the world, Phil. If you can't, if Josh Johnson, if they're running, it's early, it's going to be warm. I don't know how warm it's going to be. It's going to be humid in New York. Good luck keeping up with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want.
I think Twist is right as well.
High-paced offense. Good luck.
Twist says Bills have no run game besides Allen. That's unfortunately true.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, with how many weapons that they, the type of weapons that they have, I think
Jets' offensive line sucks. So, good luck.
That's true. That is no lie. So let's go over to the other matchup. Oh, wait a minute. There is no other matchup. We're going to go into, of course, our matchup, which was, of course,
you got to hit that drop that I got, the Bruce Buffer or the one Mark's got. It's time.
Okay. I'm going to eventually have to get that. I'm going to eventually have to get that then.
Yeah.
But, okay, I got you for you. No? Okay, no. Okay,
Yeah,
guess not that one. Does it pump you up? That doesn't pump you up?
No, not at all.
So
we're
we're talking about...
Girl, just real quick, there's a dude has a tattoo on his leg.
Oh, the scanner? The little QR code?
Scanner, yeah. When you scan the QR code, it brings up to that music video. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's some commitment right there. So I'm going to start this off because, of course, we're going to allow the mailman to deliver the final score that he predicts and everything. So I'm going to start it off. Yes, I'm going to start it off. Now, when I look at this matchup, there's, of course, going to be things that you're going to fear about the other team because, of course, they're rivalry games. Anybody can win. This is the NFL. Dallas could be blown out, all of a sudden you're just like, okay, what's going on with Cowboys? We all know. And then the next following week they could win by 40. You know how that is. We haven't seen this offense done anything. We haven't really seen these defensive guys all together other than in training camp. We've seen them go against each other, so I'm happy to finally see them hit other people with the starters. I'm really interested to see how they're going to stop.
I want you to hit some Village people for Twitter.
I'm really interested to see how Micah Parsons is unleashed. I really want to see his body of work come out. I want to see the secondary in action. Finally see Gilmore out there with Trayvon Diggs. I want to see Bland. I want to see the secondary doing this thing. So I'm interested to finally see my Dallas Cowboys come out. And I have to agree with the Giant fans, man. Your team has definitely improved, but guess what? The Cowboys have also improved, and that's what I want to see every single year. Now, this team, how we saw them last year, I didn't want them to take a step back because that was going to be the question mark going into it. We all know what this team's weakness is, and, of course, the offensive line and the depth. We already have game one. We're already questioning whether Tyron Smith's going to be there. Tyler Smith is going to – our backup is not going to be there. We got some guys in the offensive, depth. Like you brought up, TJ Bass. You talked about Hoffman. You talked about Sam Richards. I love these guys to come in and be able to do stuff, even if they aren't. Even if those guys are out. So one game at a time, right? But I do still expect the Giants pass rush to be able to get to Dak. I mean, don't expect you to be able to just shut them down. They got some really good stars over there. But when it comes down to it, it's going to go on this passing game against these rookie corners. It's going to I expect them to really toast them, and if even if the Giants make a play or whatever like that here and there, I still expect a big game from these wide receivers. So I am going to go with the Cowboys, and I have two different scores. I have my if it doesn't rain score, which if
couching it.
If it does not rain, I believe that the Cowboys will win this game. There's a good chance that they get into the 40s, with how this offense is really set up. But I think they could take that step back where if they are blowing teams out, they'll start to run the ball a little bit more. So I expect a 34-17 victory for the Cowboys. If it does rain, I'm going to go more towards 24-13. I think the Giants actually score less points when if it starts to rain, and I think, of course, the Cowboys scoring less points because they got to slow the game down a little bit more. So I got my 2 points, but of course, it does not affect the fact that I think the Cowboys should definitely come out and win this. And I love all the matchups, and of course, there are some matchups for the Giants that are favored there, but it's just not enough. So I'm going to go with the Giants with the victory over the Giants in the Week 1 matchup. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I see Glimmer Man. I want to see everybody's scores here, please.
Glimmer Man says 30-10. Even Logan for Phillips says 20-10. Let's see. Yeah, let's put them in there, man. Let's see who's going to be right about this. It's going to be an interesting.
And we'll look back before our recap show, and I guess we're doing that Monday. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. So, but yeah, I want to see all the scores in the chat, and we'll highlight whoever. If
somebody hits it, man, I'll definitely
give you a shout out.
I gotta look back.
I want to go over a couple things first before I get into the Cowboy actual score prediction. Just a quick note: the Cowboys haven't been to the playoffs 3 consecutive years since 1994. Now, I'm already on record as saying they're getting back to the playoffs this year, and that's interesting. And it's been since 1994 was the last time that we made the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive year. Not the easiest thing to do for us as of late, obviously. I think that changes. This is my prediction. In the new motto for the Cowboys, Carpe Omnia, seize everything. I love that. I want to get that shirt. I want to seize everything. And it starts tomorrow night. We're going to seize everything tomorrow night. We're going to take Danny Dimes out. Michael Parsons is going to go off. Look for D. Law to line up over John Michael Schmitz to slide it inside. Look for the Giants to run to the edges. Like I told you guys a few weeks ago, you're not going to run up the middle against the Cowboys. You're going to try and hit the edges.
There's room there to run.
Yeah,
there's room.
Yeah, and I think the Giants may have some early success, but it won't be sustained. That's for sure. But I just think that Dallas is a better team. Now, it's going to be a hostile environment. Giants are coming off a playoff win, a road win. People forget that. The Giants went on the road and got a win last year in the playoffs. I don't care who you are or what. That's not easy to do. Giants are a good team. They're going to win 10 games, but they ain't winning tomorrow night. Now, obviously, if Tyler Smith don't play, it makes it hard. I believe Tyron will play, but I think Tyler helps Tyron. So without Tyler in, I'm not trying to confuse people, but I think Tyler Smith, our left guard, helps Tyron Smith. Just like on the right side, Steele and Zach Martin. It's beautiful. It's like a symphony how they block together. I think that's what's going to hurt Dallas's running game tomorrow. Look for them to run to the right side a lot. Look for the Giants to pressure the Cowboys early and often. The ex-Raven defensive coordinator, loves the blitz. Dak finished 4th in the league last year against the blitz. So I welcome the blitz. But Giants with 2 rookie corners, I like it. But I'm going to go into the box and give the actual score because I know everybody's waiting.
There it is. Here it is.
You don't have any kind of sound effect yet? I thought for sure, man.
No, I was like, I'm looking.
Phil's working hard when you don't have time to do a sound effect.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I have a joke drum roll, but I don't have a regular drum roll.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you got to work on that. Anyway, this is how I think it's going to happen here, and I will give you my score. I think that Dallas is going to be up, and then I think the Giants are going to be within striking distance on the final drive, and our boy Trayvon Diggs is going to get the interception to seal the victory. I think the Giants may actually score first, but I think Dallas actually gets out. Ray Finkel, I don't want to see a Finkel. Oh, I don't have it on screen right now. I don't want to see a Finkel, but I think that our new guy, Aubrey, with the wind and rain, is going to miss an extra point tomorrow night, which I'm not going to be happy with, but I think he'll make the rest and he'll make his field goal. The final score is going to be a Cowboys 23, Giants 17. I think Giants have the ball and are driving. I think the Giants are going to drive, and that's when Diggs is going to, because they're going to need a touchdown, and Diggs is going to seal it with an INT. So I like the Cowboys minus the 3.5 and under the total of 45. Cowboys 23, Giants 17, Cowboys 1-0. And there it is.
Boom, boom. All right, man. The first delivered prediction of the year. Man, it's a good matchup. As much as I don't like the Giants always opening it up, rivalry games are rivalry games. I always look forward to these matchups. And we're all kind of formidable. I mean, even Washington had that chance last year. Will they stick with Sam Howell through the season? That's going to be more of the question. I mean, Rivera all of a sudden realizes that Howell was actually a good quarterback. I don't know if you heard that. So, I mean, it sounds like he may actually stick with it. But, I mean, I'm interested to see what these teams do. I mean, we like, what, 3-4 years ago, if you really think about it, maybe 5 or so, we all kind of had that, Jason Garrett, where they were just 8-8. Like, everybody was just kind of the middle of the pack. We were really bad. Everybody kind of just automatically chalked it up to a win. But, this division is not like this at all. We're going into a season where we're all talking a lot of crap. And, we all have a chance. I think even Washington, you got to give Washington, even though Washington hasn't improved a whole lot and they're still trying to figure out their identity, they have a roster enough to put together. You just got guys that aren't showing up. Chase Young, for example, getting hurt. It's not really available for them. So, I mean, again, their depth is not very far. So your two teams, of course, is going to be the Cowboys and Eagles going into it. That's why they get a lot of conversation within these media stuff. You just got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to actually listen to and believe, right? Okay. So, Bryan, before we get out of here, anything that you want to say? You're going to be in there tomorrow. There's a chance I might be broadcasting tomorrow. It just really depends on how the day goes. So I know Mark's going to be there, and you're going to be going to the game, man. You excited about that?
I am excited. I'm going to leave here 11:30, 12 tomorrow. Head up to North Jersey, a little over 2-hour drive. Check in the hotel. Get settled. Maybe take my kid out to eat somewhere, and then head over to the MetLife. It's only a couple minutes away from where I'm staying, and I'm looking forward to it. I will be broadcasting live a pregame. I'm going to try and do if you're not going to stream, if you are, then I'll be on with you at times, and I'll definitely zoom in with Mark. And then halftime, I'm going to do a little halftime thing, and then I'm going to do a live post game from MetLife. So stay tuned for some content, and
either way, really I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, so I mean, I should kind of see how it feels, kind of feel the day out, and just throw it out there. I mean, I may go for a little bit to see how it kind of filled the water, and then
maybe go to
pop
halftime.
out.
Maybe do that.
Stacy, what's going on? Gliverman, how about you, broadcast? And that's what I was thinking. I was definitely thinking about doing it, and I'll seize the day as well. If I'm gonna. But I hope you have a whole lot of fun. I hope of course, you're going in there getting a nice Cowboys victory, seeing this offense, seeing these weapons. I think that's what I liked about when I saw the past couple of years, just seeing these guys in action. And you have a hell of an offense and a hell of a defense to see there. I mean, even the special teams is exciting. What's going to be the kicker going to do? What's our special teams Turpin going to do? How's our offense going to run? Is it going to be elite? Is it not? Is it just defense going to be? So there's so many questions going into the season, so many matchups going into this game, and I'm just excited about football, man. So of course,
how I am.
Of course, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but if anything for sure guaranteed is that we'll be back on Monday, right? The day after the game. And usually right before Monday Night Football and everything, it's at 7 o'clock time. So we'll talk about the game and the results and going forward. And then and hopefully we're celebrating a victory, right?
Yeah, let's hope.
Exactly, Gametime.
Lighting into people.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. That one thing, and it always happens to be that, for example, Glimmerman. So I appreciate you guys coming through. I appreciate you guys supporting. Of course, hit that like button, hit the share button. Tell me what you guys think about these Cowboys. Put your score in the comments. That way we can look back as well. I'm just, again, football is here, and I think that's what's the exciting part of it is just knowing that everybody has a clean slate. Everybody has that hopes and dreams about the playoffs, about this thing. Baby. So let's see how this thing unfolds. But one thing that's for sure is to never forget to do what?
Always ring that bell.
Damn right.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
Gametime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here.
Cool name. Superpowers?
Broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you going to tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, Gametime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.